Hiya everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video, we are going to be building in the beautiful world of Brindleton Bay. And Brindleton Bay is the world that came with the cats and dogs pack. And I find Brindleton Bay one of the most beautiful worlds in the game simply because it looks very cozy, but at the same time when you play it in like fall season, it really looks nice because of all the trees surrounding it that turns like shades of red, orange and brown, so it really looks beautiful in the fall time. But other than that, I think it is a great world for your family sims to play in because it is very cozy, and also, you know, cats and dogs, they are so adorable. But anyways, we are going to be building a little cottage home or a little farmhouse. Yeah, I think I will end up calling it a little farmhouse in the title. But we are going to be building this little farmhouse on a 30 by 30 lot, and the lot is known as Brindleton Boathouse, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm looking at the top left corner and it looks kind of blurry. But anyways, I chose this lot because I thought that it was the perfect size for a small home, but I initially wanted to build a modern farmhouse. So it's quite surprising to me because when I was building it, I was basically building a modern farmhouse, but then like I figured out the plot of land was quite small for a modern farmhouse. So I just decided to suddenly switch it to a more traditional looking farmhouse. But I really hope you guys will like this one because I loved building this build because it is very cute and I'm in love with it from the outside and inside. But if you guys like it, please let me know in the comments, or if you don't, that's fine too. But yeah, if you like it, don't forget to leave a like also and subscribe to my channel. But anyways, you can see that the structure of the house is pretty much like a two-level structure. Basically, there's only one part of the build that is a double-story structure, and the other parts of the build are basically just one story because I don't know. I think I basically saw this house on Pinterest and it was a modern farmhouse, but then like I was trying to build it, but then like I said, I suddenly switched my mind and tried to build a more traditional looking farmhouse instead. So I did that, and the structure looks kind of like this except that it's traditional. But for the color scheme of this build, I basically wanted to make it very bright and also red. So I ended up using a yellow color wallpaper from the base game to put it on the structure that has the double story, and the rest of the build basically has this kind of beige color. But I will be changing those wallpaper that you see for the beige part because I figured that the wallpaper that I used, which is kind of rectangular and more paneled, looks like too like a bold and also looks kind of old. So I ended up changing it to more of the circular ones that are from the cats and dogs pack. So basically for this house also, when I was building the exterior, I thought of using only cats and dogs pack and also the base game, but then I changed my mind because I wanted to use a lot of stuff from the other packs, which include Parenthood, Nifty Knitting, I think, and also I think Get Together. If I'm not mistaken, I will be using this rake that came with the Get Together pack, so I decided to include that, and also added in plenty of debug items which I saved in my library. And basically they are some like upright brooms and mops, and also I think a lot of like clutter items in this build. I'm not too sure what they're from, if they are in the debug menu of the base game or they are in other packs. But yeah, if you want to download this house, you can see that of course in the menu, but this house is already up in the gallery if you want to download it, and my ID is simmerkhai as always. And I really hope you guys will like it if you download it, and yeah, I really hope you guys will like it because I really like this build. But anyways, you can see that I also added in those wall decorations that came with under the window option in the build by catalog, which is kind of this shelf looking icon in there. And I decided to include those flower decorations for the walls for the exterior, and I'm in love with the results. As for the landscaping though, I couldn't really landscape this build a lot because of the small size of the lot. So I ended up just adding some simple landscaping here and there, but initially I wanted to just add like green color decorations, but in the end I switched my mind and changed it to colors of red and also yellow, because I thought that the green ones looked too plain or something like that. But then if I look at it now, I think if I were to put only the green ones, it would look quite nice also. But yeah, anyways, I ended up adding those debug landscaping items, which are the yellow flower bushes and the red ones, and I just wanted to fill in the space because I didn't want to make the house look too bare or too empty from the outside. So I made sure that I use a lot of debug items, but at the same time keeping it very simple. So I ended up just using a couple of debug items so that they don't really look clamped. Did I say clamped? I mean cramped. Plus the garden space for this build is also very quite small, so I just ended up like adding like a few landscaping items basically, and also some debug fences. And for the garden space, I also ended up adding just a couple or several plant pots and also a flower arrangement table from the season pack. And yeah, the garden is basically a simple garden because I couldn't really fit any other items such as an umbrella table or a barbecuer, so I just ended up keeping it very, very simple and just very plain. But I really like the garden. Even though it's plain, it looks very, very nice because of the space. Like I said, it's very small, so I didn't think that adding a lot of items in there would make it look nicer in a way. Yeah, but anyways, we are starting off with this interior over here, and the interior I wanted to keep it very like cohesive with the exterior, so I ended up basically for the interior using a lot of yellows in there because I wanted to make it look like matching with the structure outside that you saw where I used the yellow wallpaper. And so I also ended up adding a lot of debug items because I figured that it looks nicer like that and more lived in instead of using like normal build by menu items. I think the debug items would make it much more different and much more cozy looking. And I also ended up adding that cute TV over here in the living room, and I really like the look of it because it's very tiny and very boxy, and it looks very like traditional, and I thought that the TV fit perfectly with the theme that I was going for, which is a traditional little farmhouse. But yeah, also I ended up adding a lot of those sunflower pots that came with the base game, if I'm not mistaken, and just basically added in a lot of clutter around it. And for this build also, I ended up using the country kitchen kit, which came out recently, I think. And I really wanted to fully utilize that kit because in one of my previous videos I did use them, but then like it's only very minimal. So for this build I thought that I would use the kit more and add in the clutter items that came with it to make it look very, very nicer and just very family like. But this house also ends up having a laundry room over here, which I used the debug items that Simlicy basically modified and made it a room, so I saved it in there. But if you want to download the room with the mops and brooms standing upright, you can always go to Simlicy's gallery ID to download them. And she has also a lot of other clutter items that she makes rooms out of because she figured that it would be more useful, like paintbrushes and stuff like that. And there's plenty of items you can see, so if you want to download like upright standing items, you can check out Simlicy's gallery ID in the gallery if you want to. But anyways, this is the kitchen that I was talking about just now, where I used a lot of those country kitchen kit items. And I wanted to just use this yellow color scheme for the kitchen because I figured that it should match with the whole concept of the house. So I figured that the color of this yellow kitchen would be very vibrant and looks very cozy and just very, very like very positive vibes only kind of thing. So yeah, I just ended up using the kitchen to make it look more yellow, and I also added in plenty of greens to contrast it. And I really like the look of the kitchen because the counters of the country kitchen kits look very nice for both the bottom and top part. So I just ended up doing that. And then yeah, basically this house also has 2 bedrooms, in which one of them is the parents' bedroom and the other one belongs to the toddler that lives here. And I pictured that the family over here maybe just moved into Brindleton Bay, so this is kind of a like not so starter house. I would say it is more than that, but then less than a like lived-in house. But I tried to make it look as cozy as possible, and I really hope you guys will like it because I really like it. It's very cozy in my opinion. But anyways, the family that lives here also has a toddler that they maybe like raised or adopted. That can be a possibility also. And basically initially I wanted to just include a like newborn bedroom here because I figured that I wanted to make this house for a family of young adults and their newborn baby, but then I ended up using a toddler bed in here instead because the toddler stuff or things that are related to toddlers, there are more things in this game compared to the ones that are related to like newborn babies. So I just made it a toddler bedroom instead, but you can always change it to a nursery bedroom if you want to. And the color scheme for the bedrooms basically is not the same. The parents' bedroom is kind of this like pale yellow color if I'm not mistaken, and the toddler's bedroom, who I imagine is a little cute girl, is pink in color. And I figured that those are the colors that I could use because they are very bright and vibrant and also family oriented colors. But the study for this house in particular is very like oddly placed because it is placed in the middle of the house, basically where the stairs are. So your sim has to like go through the study room to be able to access the stairs to go to their bedrooms. And so I just included the study room over here because I figured that it is easier for me to do so because there wasn't enough space for me to add a like separate room. So I ended up just like adding the study corner or study area in the middle of the house. And this house also has 2 bathrooms. I don't think I mentioned it just now, but it has 2 bathrooms in which both of them are full bathrooms because there was enough space for me to make the ground floor bathroom a full bathroom. So I'm pretty happy with that because it's kind of different in concept because there are only 2 bedrooms in here and 2 full baths. Usually I think in my builds I basically do like 2 bedrooms and 1 full bath upstairs and maybe a half bathroom downstairs. But in this build it's slightly different because I managed to include 2 full baths in here, and I'm quite surprised as well as I'm saying this because I think it is my first time doing so. But this bedroom over here is the parents' bedroom, and as you can see, like I said, the color scheme of the wallpaper is basically pale yellow. And for the curtains throughout this build, I decided to use the cats and dogs curtains because I don't know, I just feel like I don't really use them much in the game when I'm building, so I decided to utilize them over here, and I think the vibe that comes with it looks very suitable with the vibe of the little farmhouse. And the curtains, in my opinion, are quite like, I don't know, I just want to say ugly, but I feel bad for saying it, but they kind of look kind of like old and rusty. So I think that's why I don't really use it. But anyways, this room here is the toddler's bedroom, which is pink in color, and I didn't really want to clutter it up with a lot of toys because I don't know, I think when I do children's bedrooms I find myself adding a lot of toys and a lot of wall decorations, and I when I look back at it I don't really like it because it looks too cramped. So I decided in this build I didn't want to include a lot of clutter, so I ended up just adding a couple of toys here and there, and also a toy chest box in here, I think, in the end, or not, or just a lamp over there. And I also added in a panda chair for the toddler because I don't know, I think it looks great with the children's vibe. But for the bathroom upstairs, the full bathroom upstairs, it's smaller than the ground floor bathroom, to my surprise. And initially I wanted to include a full bathtub in here, but then the space didn't allow me to do so because it is quite a small bathroom. I think it is a 2x2 room or something like that, or 4x4. I'm not so sure, or 3x3. I might be wrong. I'm not so sure. But anyways, for the back part of the house, it is very simple as well. It's just a dining table in there, and I ended up adding a flower arrangement table for the garden. And I initially wanted to put those garden pots that are stuck against the wall from the eco lifestyle, but I didn't manage to do so because I thought that they looked too modern. But in the end, I think I switched it around and placed these couches over here that came with the seasons pack, which is green and black in color, and I think it looks much more simpler. But anyways, we are going to be approaching the end of the video soon, so I really hope you guys like this build. If you do like it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and comment if you want to, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!